Joan Laporta, an emblematic figure of FC Barcelona, has built his legacy amid bold decisions, heated disputes, and episodes that span both football and Catalan politics, leaving deep marks on the club's history. Since his first election to the presidency in 2003, Laporta has faced suspicions of an authoritarian leadership style, especially after the resignation of 5 board members, including Sandro Rosell in 2005, who accused him of changing for the worse and harboring an excessive ambition for power. This internal unrest intensified when his brother-in-law, Alejandro Echevarria, responsible for club security, was revealed to be a member of the Francisco Franco Foundation. Laporta tried to deny the connection, but documents published in the press forced Echevarria's resignation, although he remained influential behind the scenes. These episodes, combined with Laporta's refusal to testify in Spanish in a court hearing, insisting on Catalan instead, reinforced his commitment to Catalan nationalism and his combative style, which has both attracted and divided fans. Time passed, and after more than a decade away from the club, Laporta returned triumphantly in 2021 with promises of renewal, a return to glory, and the recreation of an unbreakable bond, keeping Messi. In his campaign speeches, he presented himself as the savior who would reconnect the icon with the club. But the financial crisis was real, heavy, and immediate. The wage bill consumed more than 100% of revenues, and liabilities were approaching 1.4 billion euros, as admitted by Vice President Eduard Romu. Then came the most symbolic blow. Messi had to leave because there was no way to register his contract within La Liga's limits, an administrative defeat that turned into a collective trauma. Laporta tried to soften the blow, joking that he suggested Messi play for free. The irony was poorly received by fans and the press, seen as a flimsy excuse for a management unable to deliver on promises. But the budgetary problem wasn't limited to Messi. The club embarked on a series of expensive signings. Dani Olmo for around 60 million euros was among the most obvious and faced the paradox of not being able to register them due to lack of salary cap space. Dani Olmo's case became a public crisis. Attempts to offset the spending and free up space through hospitality box sales, legal appeals, and ongoing negotiations were not enough to get him playing. He ended up unregistered after December 31st, 2024, with slim chances of playing the remainder of the season. Meanwhile, the president defended his administration against criticism from Jaume Lopez, a former Espai Barça project executive who accused the board of misreporting or hiding the true value of the Barca Vision sale and estimating total debt at more than 3 billion euros. Laporta grew irritated. He called the criticism grandstanding, said that opposition voices weren't helping, and insisted that the moment called for unity. The rhetoric, while effective in speeches, struck many as authoritarian and disconnected. On the financial front, another scandal escalated when it emerged that the club had made payments totaling around 7.3 million euros linked to former vice president of the referees committee, Negreira, between 2001 and 2018. The accusation came strongly from La Liga president Javier Tebas and nearly all other clubs who saw the case as urgently serious. Laporta hit back aggressively, calling Tebas obsessed and suggesting it was part of a campaign to discredit and control Barca. He claimed the payments were for technical consultancy, nothing illegal, and bolstered his defense with football-related documents and confidential reports. However, his reluctance to fully open the books and the political tension surrounding Catalonia fueled further suspicion. As if that weren't enough, recent controversies centered around the saga with Ter Stegen. After undergoing back surgery, Ter Stegen estimated his recovery would take about 3 months, but the club claimed it would be at least 4, with the aim of using 80% of his salary to register new goalkeeper John Garcia. Ter Stegen refused to sign the medical report for La Liga, citing privacy rights, and faced disciplinary proceedings and the loss of his captain's armband. The German Players' Union called the treatment undignified, and legal experts suggested the club might be engaging in workplace harassment. Only after a direct conversation between the player and the president, and with huge internal and external repercussions, was the situation resolved. Ter Stegen regained the armband, returned to training, and made a friendly speech to the fans just before the Joan Gambamper Trophy. Throughout, Laporta sought rhetorical elegance while managing tensions. His repeated attacks on those trying to destabilize Barca from the outside became a hallmark. He also faced internal resistance over decisions involving large-scale restructuring, such as the Espai Barça Stadium redevelopment project, seen as vital for the club's future, but criticized as financially overambitious. Another often overlooked aspect is Laporta's frequent use of the club as a political platform. He has remained a prominent figure in the Catalan independence movement, even creating the Democracia Catalana party in 2010 after protests against Spanish government decisions. His personal politics and the club's affairs have often been intertwined, which has captivated some and irritated others. The culmination lies in the perception that while Laporta has brought titles, passion, and a desire for reconstruction, his style has generated wear and constant tension with players, executives, La Liga, dissenting fans, and even unions. The image of a passionate club, yet one mired in administrative disputes, has taken hold. His talk of verbal agreements with Messi clashed with a chronic difficulty in executing financially. His public defenses, though forceful, often sounded like self-preservation in a high-stakes institutional game. Political ramifications, legislative disputes over the Catalan language, and battles for control within Barcelona added another layer of complexity. Taken together, Laporta's legacy is one of simultaneous victories and regressions. Under his leadership, Barcelona has enjoyed brilliant moments, some trophies, high-profile signings, renewed passion, but also crises of identity, legal, financial, institutional, and sporting conflicts. He represents, like few others, the duality of a myth that must be constantly managed between love and conflict, hope and risk,